for Alcaraz, is losing to Novak Djokovic the whole point of playing the World Tour Finals? For Sinner and Medvedev, is it the same case? Welcome to Tennis Bytes, and we are looking forward to the Nitto ATP World Tour Finals. So what do you say, Aadish?
Oh, well, right. So, of course, Djokovic is the favorite. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Because the way he has played this year, I think he's a clear favorite. And, somehow looking at the other players, they just don't seem even half as close to the talent that Djokovic is. But let me tell you something. If Djokovic does manage to win this World Tour final, it will be his 7th World Tour final.
Yeah.
And for once and for all, the GOAT debate is over. Djokovic will have won 7 ATP World Tour finals. He already has won 24 Grand Slams, which is more than any person on the planet. Once again, I want to say sorry. Margaret Court is not at 24. He has not equaled Margaret Court's record. He has surpassed the likes of Rafael Nadal, Steffi Graf and Serena Williams this year. So he is at 24 Grand Slams. He has won countless number of ATP 1000 Masters. He has been world number 1 for a record 400 weeks now. That's 8 years. Do you understand how long it is? People don't have a 8-year career. The best players in the world don't have an 8-year career.
Yeah.
The best athletes in the world struggle to make it beyond the 4-5 year mark. And he's been world number 1 for 8 years now. And just remember that when Djokovic entered the circuit, Federer was at his prime. Nadal was a rising star. Murray was his competitor. We had a dark horse named Stan Wawrinka, who is absolutely one of the best tennis players that the world has ever seen. And he dethroned Federer. He dethroned Nadal. He competed with Murray for a while, but of course we all know that he just surpassed everybody along the way. So when people like me, Federer fans like me, say that actually Federer is the real GOAT because his grace, his class, the way he has transcended tennis, his game transcends everything. So all right, like be that as it may, the GOAT debate is just over now. There is absolutely no competing Federer to Novak when it comes to the GOAT debate. As for all the Nadal fans out there who say that Nadal has played fewer tournaments, he has been hampered by injuries, his win-loss ratio apparently is better than Novak's still, especially at the Grand Slams. His finals percentage is better, especially at the Grand Slams. And so on. There's just so many arguments floating around. But come on, guys, the statistics are out there for you to see. And you also have to keep one more thing in your mind, that when Djokovic started, he won his first Grand Slam in 2008.
Yeah.
But he actually got in form in 2011, because after 2008 Australian Open, he directly clicked at the 2011 Australian Open. So in a span of 13 years, he has won 24 Grand Slams. That's 2 slams a year for 13 years. Along the way, he has won 6 ATP World Tour Finals. He has won God knows how many ATP 1000 Masters. So all of this, I'm just honestly, I am as frustrated as the other fans out there. But I think now it is just time to move on and accept that. All right, Djokovic is the GOAT. That's it.
Heartbreak for Federer fans, heartbreak for Nadal fans as well. Something coming from a Federer fan is probably the greatest achievement for Novak.
Well, you don't have any other option but to accept at this point. And looking at how he's been going, it looks like he's going to have at least another 2 years of glory. So with each passing day, with each passing Grand Slam, his numbers are just going to keep on increasing, and we will have to focus more on grace and injuries every time. So that is just not happening anymore.
So coming back to today's topic, what do you think about the actual ATP Finals tournament that's starting today?
So Djokovic is world number 1 and Alcaraz is number 2, which means Djokovic will be the top seed. He'll be in the top half or green group, as they say, and Alcaraz will be in the bottom half or the red group, as they say. And looking at the groups, I feel they are a little imbalanced. Maybe because Djokovic being Djokovic, I think any group that Djokovic is in will always be imbalanced. But overall, also, if you look at it, I think the red group is far more challenging. at least three of them seem to be really, really good competitors. On the other hand, in the Djokovic's group, I don't think, if you look at the group, Djokovic and Sinner seem to be the clear favorites to go through to the semifinals.
Yeah, I was thinking that at the ATP World Tour Finals, draw shouldn't make too much of sense because it's a round robin. But still, if you look at it, it's a kind of a skewed group in Djokovic's half and a kind of balanced group in Alcaraz's half. But I think looking at individual players, or from a maybe my thought process standpoint, you see, I feel Djokovic and Sinner obviously the prime contenders there. But Djokovic is the absolute prime contender. Sinner and Medvedev maybe are the competitors. And I actually feel Rublev can be a dark horse.
And what about Alcaraz? Is he the challenger here?
So Alcaraz has been losing left, right, center. Every indoor tournament he has lost to Sinner, he has lost to Dimitrov, he has lost to Medvedev at the US Open. Right. So it's kind of maybe a rocky ride for Alcaraz. So he may go to semis, but overcoming Djokovic and Sinner both to win the title actually seems a far-fetched dream for him.
So honestly, if you look at how Alcaraz has to go through the tournament, he has to beat Medvedev, he has to beat Rublev, he has to beat Zverev, and then he has to consistently in the knockout stage beat Sinner and Djokovic. So actually it's sort of unfair on his part, don't you think?
Yeah. Second seed. It's just one seeding below Djokovic, but it looks like he's paying a significant price for
right.
that.
Yeah.
But overall, looking at other players, I found Sinner to be the most consistent or having a great build-up because he has won 2 tournaments and significantly performed well in the others.
Yeah.
Likewise for Medvedev, but the weaker links, if you want to say, I feel Rune and Zverev, who haven't really managed to even reach finals or semifinals consistently. They have been out at the initial rounds in most of the tournaments, be it Paris, Vienna, Swiss indoors. I think Zverev has just won his home tournament, which is Chengdu. But other than that, it's quite a flat performance from Rune as well as Zverev.
See, on Zverev's front, I think the comeback that he has made into the circuit, after all the injuries, and 3-4 years back, Zverev was the upcoming thing along with the likes of Dominic Thiem and all. We were talking about them, but Zverev suddenly had some problems. He had some injuries, and he was out of the top 20. I believe, I'm not entirely sure, he was out of the top 20 for a while. But this year, I think when he came into the Grand Slams, he was unseeded or maybe seeded a little below. But the way he has finished the year in the top 8, I think that itself is a great achievement for him, considering considering the backdrop and how the past 3-4 years have been for him. So in case of Zverev, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on the fact that he hasn't won anything big really, because for Zverev coming like this and with all the psychological and mental blocks when you face after injury, I think this is actually a great comeback. This comeback is something people are not talking enough about. It is actually great achievement for him to be finishing in the top 8. So as far as Zverev is concerned, I don't see him as a weak link. I see maybe, of course, from the World Tour Finals perspective, he is a sort of weaker player. But if you look overall, then great achievement. Bravo on the way he has finished the year. Rune, I have felt that the entire year actually, he began the year with a lot of promise. But somehow during the clay season or after French Open, he has just gone downhill.
Kind of derailed. But now with Becker, I feel there might be some positive things coming up for him.
We'll have to see. It's only been a couple of weeks, I believe. So you can't expect a gigantic change in the game in 2 weeks, but maybe psychologically. And Becker is Djokovic's ex-coach as well, so maybe he can teach him a thing or two about winning 24 Grand Slams.
I think probably everything will come into effect next year. That also might be an assumption here when he hired Becker. But the last player remaining on the list is probably Tsitsipas, we haven't talked about. But with a single-handed backhand, I feel it's already handicapped, and his performances have been like a top 4 or top 8 player, consistently getting to semis, but not beyond that. Tsitsipas kind of can be a threat, 1 or 2 matches here and there. He can turn the tables, But I mean, kingmaker, if you want to say that.
Yeah, I
But-
don't really see that happening. I'm sorry. The way after Australian Open, he hasn't really done anything uh, great, or an unexpected upset, or he has troubled some big player, or
Yeah.
he played a brilliant match. Nothing of that sort has happened after the Australian Open finals when he lost to Novak Djokovic. So it's a little disappointing, to be honest, because it's not like he has been outclassed by brilliant games. A lot of matches we have seen him not exactly play up to his full potential. So I don't see Tsitsipas being of anything in this.
I like that you mentioned that there has been no significant upset. So exactly my point. So I am also thinking that he has performed at his seeding kind of a level,
Yeah.
but he has not made a huge upset any time.
Yeah, so if the trend continues, he should be out in the mix.
Yeah, but I am really looking forward primarily because I really like the atmosphere, the surface, the energy, and the vibe which the ATP World Tour final brings. The blue court, it's similar to a Lever Cup court, which is unique in its own sense, right?
Well, see, my memories of the ATP World Tour finals are from the O2 Arena.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that we were exposed to these kind of rockstar entries for the players, which was a great change to see, from all the entire, Wimbledon. And afterwards, I know a lot of tournaments have started doing that, but the first time I saw, a Federer make a rockstar entry, or a Nadal or Djokovic make, they were literally welcomed like rock stars, lights flashing, music playing, and everything. So it was just awesome to see, at the O2 Arena, which the ATP World Tour Finals was being held in London for quite some time now.
Yes.
So now let's just, I hope to see the same thing in Turin also.
Right.
Yeah.
So final word on Djokovic. I think he has played only Paris Masters after the US Open.
Yeah.
So he has played a very low number of tournaments, but seems like he's fit and ready. Probably that's a strategic break. Probably playing golf is a stress buster.
And despite playing only one tournament after the US Open, he still has a better record in 1000 Masters than all the 7 remaining players after US Open, because he's the only one who has won the 1000 Masters after the US Open of the people playing this
Sinner
tournament.
probably,
Yeah, Sinner.
Yeah.
Sinner won the 1000 Masters? He
He
won the 500.
okay, 2. He won 2.
Yeah, but
Shanghai.
those were 500.
Okay. Cool. Any last word? Any verdict finally before you close?
I don't think there is anybody who is even close to being a favorite as much as Novak Djokovic is.
Right. So that's it for today. Hope you'll enjoy the ATP World Tour finals, and we'll meet you before the finals with the preview of that. Thanks so much. Have a good day. See you again.